Welcome to the evaluation section of Locked In. Guys, I was the director of recruiting at the University of Missouri after being a recruiting graduate assistant and being a recruit myself back in the recruiting process. I understood that getting an honest evaluation from people is worth more than gold. Ultimately, getting an honest evaluation is going to give you a clear idea of where you're at in terms of your recruiting process. It's going to give you a clear idea of where you're at in terms of your physical development. And it's going to set the off season for you to be an off season of clarity where you know exactly what you're working on. You know what schools you're trying to reach out to that would be in the likes of recruiting you. And ultimately, after watching thousands and thousands of quarterbacks as a quarterback coach and director of recruiting over a 6-year period at the University of Missouri, I know that I can provide you the clarity that you're looking for in terms of where you are currently, where you want to go, what places you should be looking into, and where you are from a skill set standpoint, and give you some guidance as to the things that I would be looking to do in the off season to ultimately just put yourself in the best position to be the best player that you can be. Not all of us are going to play collegiate and NFL football, but we're all looking for direction during our off season. And if we do have those aspirations, I would love to make everything a lot more concise for you and give you a far more clear understanding of exactly how to approach the off season. So without further ado, let's just jump into it, okay? If you request an evaluation from me, what you'll be getting is you'll be getting this evaluation sheet back. Okay, this evaluation sheet is comprised essentially of what Nick Saban uses at Alabama, what James Franklin uses at Penn State, and then what I put in place at the University of Missouri. So as we look at this, this is what college coaches are doing when they watch your tape. They're going to first obviously write your name at the top of the sheet, right? And they're going to go with your jersey number on tape, your high school, the year that you're coming out of high school, okay, city, state, and position. When we get into height range and 40 range, okay? As an evaluator, I understand that you're probably going to lie on your huddle tape or on 247 platforms. So I'm looking at a range. So I'm putting the height range that I think you might be, the weight range that you might be, the 40 range that I think you might be. Ultimately, I'm going to write down if you have any academic red flags, and then I'm going to move into relevant stats on the player, things that we need to know. I put in a couple for myself if I were evaluating myself, and ultimately this will give you an idea of what your evaluation would look like. I know the level of competition you play. I know the conferences and states you play in. We were nationally recruiting. I know what these areas look like. I know what the talent looks like coming out of those areas. So I'll be able to give you an assessment just like a college coach would be able to. Okay? As we get into this, this is essentially how we do things up at the collegiate level. Okay? We're going to give you projections with scores. Okay? You're more than a score. I'm more than a score. But at the end of the day, when I'm a quarterback coach, a director of recruiting at an SEC school, I'm watching at least 300 quarterbacks in every recruiting cycle. So I need a way to put this into numbers so I have an idea of my pecking order and what my list looks like. So as you look at these things, you have obviously the elite level, Power 5, Group of 5, tweener, meaning in between that FCS and Group of 5 level, FCS player, and Division II player, okay? Then you get in the evaluation grade. These are the attributes most consistently seen across the board at all colleges. I will grade you in all of those areas on a scale of 1 to 10. I will add up that score and ultimately give you a composite score. For myself, I would have given myself an 89 coming out of high school. That would have been at the top of Group of 5 players. I ended up going to Wyoming, transferring to Vanderbilt, and became the starting quarterback for a top 20 team in America. So it worked out. That's kind of what my grade is. Of course, hindsight plays into this, but you'll be getting clarity as to that grade for you guys. As far as a college coach evaluation, now what I'm doing is I'm putting on my college coach hat, not my locked-in athlete hat, okay? And as I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write an evaluation that they would write at their school about you. So you look at this, Austin's a high-level recruit that if he were 6'2", would be a national recruit. He's in a run-first offense and had limited opportunities to throw the ball, but was able to make the most of those opportunities. I want to see him in person to verify his height, but he's well-built and a durable kid. The question about this kid is what his upside is because he looks physically developed already. We will want to find better in this class, but we would not be upset if we end up taking this kid. Right now, he's being recruited by Purdue, Utah, San Jose State, and San Diego State. We need to monitor him going into his senior year. Right now, we should recruit him, but we can hold on offering him until the top 3 guys on our board give us more clarity on where they are. That is directly what you're going to get out of college in terms of what they're writing behind the scenes. That's ultimately going to allow you to have a lot more clarity through understanding how they are perceiving you. Okay, then we're going to get into our write-up. So my write-up on that evaluation would be a good quarterback, but needs to work on finding balance and consistency in his base. Is a linear thrower that doesn't utilize his lower body very well. We need to work on his front foot placement so that he can better utilize the turn in his back foot and ultimately get him to keep his weight back. Right now, he is putting his shoulder and front knee in jeopardy. We need to work with him on these things, but he has that competitive temperament and build that illustrates he cares about this. Think he can work on his flexibility, looks a little bit tight. Okay, that is my evaluation for you, not as a college coach, as what I see in terms of what I'm watching on tape. And then ultimately, you should be thinking about those things as I point them out. And that will help shape your idea of what your off season should look like. Okay, as we get into current recruiting outlook and plan for recruitment, this section is going to be basically me telling you what I would advise you in recruiting right now. This is not me as a college coach. This is me coming down saying, I know how college coaches think. I was them. This is how I would approach it. Right now, you have offers from 6 Division I schools. Based on the way you look at this point in your development, I would urge you to begin building very strong relationships with the schools that have offered you. Still look into the schools that are showing you interest, but based on your caliber of play, I would urge you to start to narrow the schools you're focused on. This is about finding the right situation. As far as camps, I would pick 2 schools that you like and that have been in contact with, you go to camp at. Be in touch with them before you attend so they are where you're coming. That's going to save you money. It's going to save you time wasted. It's going to ultimately help you hone in a scattered recruiting process into a cohesive process of you staying on your best and developing the way that you need to. Please submit an evaluation to us, guys. I look forward to ultimately getting you these answers because I know myself and my brother and every other quarterback through the recruiting process that I have worked with wants clarity. And this is going to be clarity, okay? You're going to take it from the horse's mouth, somebody who's been there, somebody who's done it. And ultimately, my value as well is that I've watched thousands of tapes. So I know what it looks like at what year you are in your development and where you're at. I'd love to help you out. Sign up for an evaluation. I look forward to working with you guys.